Hello, my lovely little snicklets. It's Hebi here, and today we're going to be reacting to One Piece chapter 1134, The Owl Library. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, please do. If you would like to join the Discord to stay up to date with any chapter releases or even news, you can do that as well. And if you would like to support me, it is greatly appreciated. You can do so on Buy Me a Coffee. Let's start, shall we? Let's start with some news first. With Jump Fiesta happening, we have some news regarding One Piece. Oda has thanked Yao, who voices Frankie and a plethora of other characters, for joining and being part of the anime. It is also the 25th anniversary of the anime, and there'll be a shop in Harajuku. Exciting if you're going to Japan, obviously. He's also happy that Fanletter has been a success, and obviously, as we know, due to the manga breaks, he's been in South Africa. We also have the announcement of Sabaru Kimura, who voices Toto in Jujutsu Kaisen, to be Yao's replacement. That's super exciting. So, shall we start the chapter? Okay, so let's start with the cover page. It is a dedication to Yao, who obviously, like I said, is leaving and has been replaced. It is a giant robotic Frankie, and the crew is sitting on him. It is beautiful. I love it. But let's start the chapter, shall we? Okay, so we're continuing on with chapter 1133 in obviously this chapter, where Robin is having her reunion with Sol. We have Luffy coming up to Sol and giving him his thanks for saving Robin. He also, in the scans, it said he was talking like a old-time Yakuza thug, so that's why he kind of sounds this way. Robin introduces Luffy, and I'm assuming someone in the crew asks where Luffy learnt that way of talking, because they've never heard him talk like that. Sol also says that he knows about Luffy because he's famous, and he tells Robin, "You finally found your Nakama," and she's like, "Yeah, I did, true friends." And the rest of the crew are crying, except for obviously Zoro, Luffy, and Jinbei. The crew will die for Robin, and obviously they kinda did in a way at NS Lobby. Obviously, Jinbei wasn't there, but he will do what Luffy commands. Sol then tells the crew, "Thank you for coming all this way to Elbaf." He rehearsed this reunion with his assistant Edge, so she has a name. Yay! He then goes on to explain that he was in the Navy, so he knows what a big deal it is to be an emperor. And he says thanks for keeping Robin safe. We then have Lyneth pop out of nowhere, and she jumps up, I guess, to Sol and says, "Hey, it's me." He asks confusingly, who are you and how the fuck are you flying? She's like, I'm Vegapunk, to which he says, no, you're fucking not, he's a dude. We then cut to a Jinbei removing a container out of the Sunny with Gert's aid. He continues on by saying, Vegapunk requested that we bring this all the way from Egghead. What's inside? Lynette laughs and says, me. Yes. Me. It is Vegapunk. Not fucking happy. Why the fuck did we go through all of that shit just for him to have a fucking clue? Luffy is shocked about this clone, and Lynette continues by saying, it's a perfect recreation. It's not like what I am, a satellite. This was the me who came here 20 years ago. She continues by saying, don't you think the government would have been suspicious if the original Vegapunk left his lab for months at a time? I'm also assuming this is the Vegapunk we saw in Ohara. Lynette continues by saying, anyway, she snuck him out in a vat of biofluid, but there's no facility to safely extract him. That's why she's going to build a new laboratory here. Yeah, we're not getting fucking scientists. We only have the emergency meat and the doctor that is Chopper. Yay. Bonnie is excited at this news as she goes, Lynette, does this mean you'll be able to make my daddy all better? And she's like, yes, of course. Sol, confused, says, if you really are Vegapunk, then I'm delighted to see you again after 20 long years, but I can't wrap my head around you being a woman. Lynette's like, oh, who cares? I can explain that later. There's more women where that comes from. We then have several little baby giant children ask Mr. Sol if they can come out and play. And he's like, yeah, come out. And I'm sorry about that. We then have Inch, Sol's assistant, explain that normally the children would play around in this area, but we had to let the reunion between Robin and Sol happen. We then have Ange say she can show the crew around, which then happens. Luffy and Usopp run ahead, and the group head off to the War School, where the children of Albeth live. Sol founded it 20 years ago at the behest of the former king. We then have Sol and Nami, Chopper, and obviously Robin split off from the group. The little giants are chasing the leftover crew, saying that they should catch them and take them prisoner. Usopp then calls them brats. We then have a bunch of little giant girls tell the little boy giants to stop chasing humans around, and they get told off. Zoro questions whether the brats are really warriors of the village, and they're like, don't call us brats. We then have it revealed that I think Usopp and Luffy are sitting on a teacher, and she's the biology teacher, Miss Ripley. She says that we are not like the giants of the past. And she says it's okay for them to be sitting on it as it felt light as a feather. She continues by welcoming the crew that is with Luffy, and says that she heard about them from Sol. Obviously, also, I'm assuming from the newspapers. She continues to apologize by saying she's sorry for the children being children, obviously. And she continues by saying, the great King Harold once said, who is Hydrogen and Luffy's father, if I'm correct, don't fight with other countries, trade with them. He got into many arguments with the village chiefs and their traditions. Usopp goes King Harold. Then we have Anne say he was a great king who tried to reform this country and was killed by his own son before his dreams could be realized. I wonder if this is just propaganda too, because it sounds a little bit weird. Then we have, I'm guessing, Miss Ripley saying history lesson is over. Kids, go and show the crew around the school. And they go, yes, Miss Ripley, and yeah. They show the rest of the crew, excluding, I'm guessing, Luffy, around the school. We then also have Miss Ripley ask why Luffy isn't in his white head form, obviously the Nika form. She says she was looking forward to that. Luffy replies, oh, that's my freest form. To which Miss Ripley says, there's a warrior who looks like that in Albeth's mythology. Luffy's like, what? Really? It made my heart race. We're the last of the generation of warriors here, so I'm guessing her generation? We then move to Sol and Robin and Car. They're at the library. Oh, so you've already heard most of the story. I basically fled for my life and managed to get here to Albeth. But I couldn't help but worry about the books those scholars gave their lives to protect. So I asked Harrigan's crew to take me back to Ohara. When I found all those tiny books clinging to life, I wept. Come on in, Robin, but watch out for that book. She is holding a book. It Lion gets giant-fied? Okay. And we are in the library. Ain't it something? All those books are now giant-fied. Every book you bring in here turns huge. This is the wondrous owl library. I wonder if it's that owl that's sitting on the branches ability. Like a double fruit ability. Because we had Montour be able to turn people into pages in a book, so I'm assuming there's someone that can resize books. In here you'll find all the texts that Ohara protected 22 years ago. We searched all over the island to find every last one. You can check, they're all here. And then we have a flashback of Clover. This is the world's best library. You like books. I can't believe I finally got to show you. And Sol is crying and Robin is happy. We then move to the underworld, where Loki is having a conversation, I'm assuming. Yes, he is. You're almost as bored with me as me. Okay, he's having a conversation with someone on a transporter still. Am I bothering you? Nah, I could use a conversation partner, and I've got all the time in the world. Are you still traumatized by that experience? You were telling me about what experience? Even now, the memory makes me tremble uncontrollably. Hurts me to hear it too. Oh, Loki, you're an asshole. I've never met you or seen you, but through some twist of fate, we've long been friends. If I were in your place, I'd raise it to the ground and kill them all instead, okay? I'm so confused. I wasn't hoping for that much. So that's the person. And that's why you're so weak. Shaggy. Okay. Shaggy, okay. Listen, you don't want to let those fools get away. You put them down for good or they'll come back for vengeance. Why, thank you. I've realized recently that those fearsome words of yours hide your kindness. Loki's cute. Loki gets pissed off by that statement and says he's not nice. And he tells Shaggy to wait till he gets out of those chains because he will kill him. We then move back to the Western Village in Albert, where the giants are drinking. There's then a crack of lightning at the castle, and we see two figures appear in the throne room. In the summoning circle so there's a summoning circle. Okay. That the Saturn came out of, and the rest of the Gorsey. And it seems that one of the figures looks like Shanks, and then I'm assuming the other figure is a woman. This is not Shanks, this is his older evil twin brother, okay? The older twin is always the evil twin, and I say that from experience because I am the younger twin, okay? My experience. But okay, so we finally get evil twin Shanks. Though it would be funny if he was the good twin and the evil twin was the younger twin. Hilarious, but yeah. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, please do. If you'd like to join the Discord to keep up to date with any news or chapter releases, you can do that as well. And if you would like to support me, you can do so by buying me a coffee. Bye!